Go back to the Hill, and NBC's Julie Surkin standing by. He talked a lot about fiscal responsibility in that news conference. Julie, what are the top takeaways for you?
Anna, it was certainly a window into what we can expect from the rest of his speakership. He said the deficit is the greatest national security threat, and that's a direct quote. He made that point, he said, to officials in the White House, to his partners among Republicans in the Senate yesterday. He also went on to talk about Israel aid and said that he is not in favor of decoupling it from those offsets, the IRS cuts that he wants to make, which I should note, the Congressional Budget Office, the nonpartisan office, had said that that would actually add to the deficit. That comes, of course, after Democrats said, even ones who want to support Israel, reluctant, of course, to move ahead with supporting those cuts as well, unraveling one of the president's signature legislative items. He also said on a short-term government funding bill, this is interesting, he introduced an idea of a laddered stopgap funding measure, extending various appropriations mechanisms one at a time. I'm not sure how that will work, quite frankly, but that is an idea, he said, that was raised during the conference meeting this morning. He clearly wants to project this idea that he will allow rank-and-file members to have input in this process, something that the former Speaker Kevin McCarthy was criticized for, allowing his members of every faction of the conference to have input in various legislative processes. He also said a debt commission, that he would start a debt commission that would be not only bipartisan, he said, but bicameral. He spent so much time talking about the need to cut the deficit, and we can expect that in addition to Israel aid, that will continue to happen when it comes to Ukraine aid, certainly a bigger pot of money, and when it comes to funding the government as well in the last 2 weeks. But that was certainly a revealing press conference from Speaker Mike Johnson and what we can expect from him.
And now we watch to see what actions he takes. Julie Surkin, thank you very much.